Good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Today is week 17, and I wanted to speak about aliveness. People need, the world needs, people who are alive, and let me ask you this. Are you truly alive? Are you vibrating with energy, with adventure, with curiosity, with joy, with life? Because most people aren't. Most people are just getting through their day. They're surviving. And I know that because I used to be like that. I lived from week to week, from paycheck to paycheck. I'd get up in the morning, I'd get ready for work, I'd go to work, I'd spend the whole day at work, I'd come home, it was late, I'd have dinner, I'd veg out on the internet until bedtime. And then I'd repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. That's not living. It truly isn't. As human beings, we get into habitual routines and they become mechanical. We don't even know we're doing them. We just do because we've always done it. We just do because that's what we do. We never give a thought to what if? What if we did something different? What if we did something fun? And some people allocate their fun to the weekends. 2 out of 7's not bad, but is it good? When we truly come alive, that's when spirit is flowing through us at its fullest. That's when we have the power to really shift worlds. And we say, well, I've got to look after my kids, I've got to look after my family, I've got to do this because I need the money, I've got to have the money because I've got to X, Y, Z. And we actually give our power away to something external to us. And we've forgotten all about the whole reason that we're here. We all came into this world with our own specific agenda. And that agenda wasn't meant to be doing whatever we do and playing small and just surviving. We didn't come into this life just to survive till we die. Sounds ridiculous when you say it like that, but that's what most of us are doing. We've got a guidance system and we are given desire because that desire is to spark us into doing something fun, but doing something which leads to a greater self. How do we become this greater self? Through allowing more spirit to flow through us. How do we allow more spirit to flow through us? Through opening up our heart, through living in joy and happiness, through being ourself. And our self is naturally joyful, our self is naturally loving. Where did we get so off track as humans that we've forgotten to live, that we've forgotten to have fun? We started trading our time for money, and we realised the only way we could make more money was to trade more time. And it's totally ridiculous because money has got nothing to do with time unless we believe it has. We are rewarded equally in proportion to the value that we offer the world. And what better value to offer the world than to shine our light, to be in our full energy? Because that's when we raise others up. That's when we can be the gift to our family, to our loved ones, to ourselves. You know, we've got to fill our own cup before we can fill anyone else's. You know, we can do what we have to do for our children, for our family, from a mechanical place. And we get by and they get by, and they see us struggling day in and day out and giving our life away to them. So they grow up into adults that do the same thing. None of us, until we understand our truth, till we understand ourselves, till we understand the laws of creation and how they work, take the time to actually think. Our thinking is as habitual as our actions. And we're not thinking at all, we're just receiving the same thoughts on loop over and over and over again because they're already in our subconscious mind. And when we think from our subconscious mind, which is like 96 to 98% of the time, those thoughts keep us in the same vibration, doing the same things, getting the same results over and 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 over until we die. Fun, isn't it? And this was the perpetual loop that I was stuck in, only I didn't see I was stuck in it. And it wasn't until I did something new that I discovered what was out there, that I discovered there was a potential inside of me that was just coming alive. A potential that could create the world that I want to create. Except between me and that potential is fear. You know, once we stop thinking these habitual thoughts, once we start choosing new thought, then all the fear comes up because we're now got our subconscious mind throwing all of these old thoughts at us. You know, that voice in our head that keeps telling us we're not good enough, or that we're going to fail, or we need to do X, Y, Z, or these will be the consequences. And we've got these new thoughts about doing something new, something exciting, that comes with perhaps a risk because we can't see in the physical how it's going to happen. And because we've got these two thoughts in our body, we've got chaotic energy. And so most of us run. And this is why only between 1% and 3% of people ever live the life that they truly want. Only ever create incredible success. And success isn't just money. You know, I measure these results by money only because we've got the data around the money. And money is part of success. Don't get me wrong. You know, it's so much easier to go and live the life of your dreams if you've got money in the bank account. But success is about wholeness. You know, my money goal is the inspiration, the instigator of me getting out of my comfort zone to actually grow and discover more of myself, to gain more skill, but also like break through the fears that had been keeping me small, such as, you know, showing up socially, whether that be on social media or in person. You fears of actually doing something new without knowing the outcome, fear of judgment of other people. All of this is limitation, and it's all created by our past. The subconscious mind is nothing more than a tape recorder of our past experience, which has created the beliefs. So we can keep living by our past, or we can think differently and have to face that fear. But once we face that fear, we realise the fear was nothing but a thought. The fear was nothing but a ghost of the past, and we get to move on regardless of that fear and discover it was an empty threat and actually live what we desire. Knowing deliberate creation and putting it to work in my life has been absolutely so delicious. Absolutely so delicious. And it excites me no end when I watch my clients and business partners embracing, these laws, this understanding, and putting it to work in their own lives and watching them expand into their wholeness. So coming back to the world needs people who are alive. You can't be alive while ever you're living in fear. Aliveness is measured by the amount of openness we are to allow our source, our non-physical self, to flow through us, to allow the power, the infinite power that we have available to us to deliver deliciously for us in whatever way that might be. I believe there's only one goal, one purpose for every single one of us in life. And yes, we're going to set other goals. I've got this monetary goal, which is an umbrella for the life that I desire. But I believe behind that there is only one goal, and that's for me to live my highest ideal of myself. Because in doing that, I discover my potential and I share that potential through the frequency that I emit to my world. I was born into my world, into this creation, because this creation needs my frequency. Just like it needs your frequency. But if we are hiding behind a persona that keeps us locked on the hamster wheel, we never get to release that potential. We want to be the absolute best humans we can be. And a lot of us, I know when I discovered my spiritual self, I was so intent on discovering all of this spiritual potential that I let the human side of things drift to decay. Because remember, there's either expansion or there's decay. There's nothing in between, because everything is always moving. Energy's always in perpetual motion. We came here to be human so that we could express our true self through this human life, through this human body, into this human existence, so that everybody else that we're co-creating with can be inspired and enlightened and awakened and enhanced through our interaction. So we want to live the best human lives we can. We already know we're spiritual. The human mind might not understand all that, but we came from the spiritual, from spiritual into this human experience to be human. And being human isn't living on a hamster wheel. So don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask you what you need so that you can live your full potential, so that you can be yourself and shine fully. Because you are what the world needs. You are what the world needs. If the world didn't need you, you wouldn't be here. Go beyond that. If existence didn't need you, you wouldn't be here. Each one of us are a necessary part, but we're necessary as our authentic self, not as a clone of somebody else. We didn't come just to do. We came to be and do. To be ourselves. To be fearless. To be our full potential. Human beings. We are human beings. When I'm being, I'm aware of my non-physical presence. And as I focus on this non-physical presence, it becomes expanded. And it's most delicious, and it's loving, and it's the space where magic happens. When I invite this non-physical self into my beingness, then I deliberately drop thought into this space. It becomes. And when I believe that it has become, that it exists, that it's right there waiting for my frequency to become aware of it, it must become physical. It must. That's the law. And I don't keep revisiting this space of my desire, of this thought that I drop into beingness, to reorder it. I come back to this space because as I come into this space, I become the feeling of it, and I'm getting closer to the frequency where it's already existing. Understanding beingness, having a definite and clear goal, believing that it's done, having faith in yourself, faith in the doneness of it, faith in the laws of creation, faith in your non-physical self, faith in your understanding. You're going to meet with it in real time, in the physical. And it can be as quick as aligning with it vibrationally. People need people to be alive. You've got to do it for you first. And then you do it for others. And doing it for others is the natural flow from doing it for yourself. So have an absolutely beautiful day. I'm excited to share more of my understanding with you, and I look forward to connecting again. Big love.